discuss this with Phil Robertson. He's the Deputy Asia Director for Human Rights Watch and joins us from Bangkok. Phil, always good to speak to you. We heard there from the junta's spokesman saying the military leadership is working with other countries as well as its neighbours. But which countries is he referring to and how are they working together, considering that many members of the international community have called out the military's actions in Myanmar?
Well, it's a good question. I think that China and Russia are still very close to the Myanmar military junta, particularly Russia, which sent a deputy defense minister to Armed Forces Day on March 27th. And we're also seeing some of the frontline states like Thailand and other Southeast Asian states such as Cambodia, Laos, Vietnam, who have basically taken the junta's line on what is happening here and doesn't want to have anybody interfere in the internal affairs, as they say, of Myanmar. Against this, we have other countries within the ASEAN, the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, which are demanding that there be action. And I think the next step is going to be, what are these various regional neighbors going to do as this crisis sort of expands out into the region? Certainly as more refugees are likely to cross borders into Thailand, Bangladesh, and India.
Well, speaking of those refugees, there are thousands that have already fled the country. What are conditions like for them, considering that countries like Thailand and India haven't exactly been welcoming to many of them?
Well, it is a major problem. We've already had one Thailand pushback. Now they're saying that they won't do that again. There's been claims in India that everybody should be sent back, although the local governments are in fact much more sympathetic than the national government. I think that there needs to be concerted international pressure on some of these frontline states to recognize that people need to be allowed to free and seek protection. That the UN Refugee Agency has to be involved in these issues and has to be allowed to have access to these people on the ground, and that ultimately, without that kind of assurance, it's very possible that these people would be pushed back into harm's way. And then frontline states would be responsible for that.
Well, the international action that we've seen, some of it's come from the UK, the US, the EU imposing sanctions in Myanmar. But some analysts are saying that an arms embargo on the junta may actually be more effective. Do you think that will be the case?
Well, that is what we're certainly seeking. That is what the UN Security Council actually should take up. We have been pressing very hard that there should be a UN resolution doing that exact thing, imposing an arms embargo on the police and military in Myanmar, both on weapons and dual-use technology, because these are the sort of things that the Myanmar military junta would notice, that it would be something that would be not only a mark of shame that no one in the world could sell them arms, but also would raise fundamental issues about the resupply of many of the things that they're using, including live ammunition, and more recently, rocket-propelled grenades against defenseless protesters.
It's a really concerning situation unfolding in Myanmar. Phil Robertson, always appreciate your time. Thank you.